Welcome to the Vegas Insider channel here on YouTube as we look at college football week 2 with Brian Edwards as we bring him in. And Brian coming off a 1-2 week in week 1. He picked up a victory with Arkansas over Cincinnati and unfortunately didn't hit on that FSU game. The Seminoles came out and beat LSU at the Superdome. But we move on to this week. 3 more plays, all involving SEC teams. And Alabama faces Texas in Austin. That's our first game, Brian, that we will highlight. Nick Saban against his former assistant, Steve Sarkisian. You don't see the Longhorns as this heavy of a home dog ever, but Alabama laying the wood. But you prefer, though, a first-half side in this game.
Yep, I'm going to go minus 11.5 with Bama in the first half. And by the time our listeners are listening, it very well could be up higher than that. I would like it all the way to minus 14, Alabama in the first half. And I'm not necessarily – it's just a lot of – I don't like laying 20 or I mean, I think it's down to maybe 19 and a half at some books this morning. But, yeah, Alabama is a freight train in the first half, and I've been betting them regularly in the first half for 4 or 5 years now, and it's been very successful. I call it old reliable. And I usually avoid it when they're laying like the 40-point type number, 42 last week with Utah State, because it was 28 in the first half, but I shouldn't have. Believe they were up 41 zip at halftime last week, and I expect them to jump all over Texas early and often. And I think the best play is in the first half, as long as it's 14 or fewer. If the first quarter line is 7 or fewer, I wouldn't be against that either.
Now remaining in the Lone Star State, Brian, Texas A&M, they host Appalachian State. And App State coming off a tough loss to North Carolina, very exciting game on Saturday, but they lose that shootout to the Tar Heels. Now they face Jimbo Fisher's Aggies. A&M, they are a nice favorite here at home, but you prefer the road team?
Yeah, and I played App State plus 17 on Monday, but now it's up to 19 at most spots. And I was surprised when Jimbo named Haynes King his starting QB ahead of Max Johnson, who's got a lot more experience. But he went with King, who, we still have seen a very small sample size of him. We saw him against Kent State last year in the opener, threw 3 interceptions. Then he got hurt early in the first quarter at Colorado. I'm not sure if it was the first or the second possession, but then it was out for the year. And then last week against Sam Houston State, 2 interceptions. So he's basically played 8 quarters and thrown 5 interceptions. Look, App State just doesn't really get blown out. They haven't been a double-digit underdog since the 2018 season opener, when they easily covered as a 23.5-point dog and had scored the touchdown in the first overtime to go ahead 38-31, but eventually lost in double overtime 45-38. And including that opener at in Happy Valley at Penn State in 2018, including that one, they are 5-1 against the spread and 6 road dog spots. Since then, they went 2-0 as dogs last year. They won outright against 14th ranked Coastal Carolina as a 4.5-point dog. They covered as an 8-point dog at 22nd ranked Miami. They lost 25-23 when Miami made a long field goal, walk-off fashion, final play of the game. Chase Bryce, other than that first 2-point conversion, or actually both 2-point conversions, played outstanding last week. And I'm not a big Chase Bryce guy, but they've got an outstanding running game. And I just don't see A&M running away from them. App State win the turnover battle, they'll probably be right there, 1-possession game in the fourth quarter. But regardless, I like them plus 19.
All right, in our final game, Wake Forest heads to Vanderbilt, and the Commodores at 2-0, albeit they've beaten Hawaii and Elon, but still Vandy, not a lot of high expectations, so they'll take the wins. Wake Forest, though, with some great news as they get their quarterback Sam Hartman back this week. That line has jumped. And what do you think about this game with Sam Hartman making his first start of the season with the Demon Deacons, Brian?
Yeah, so on Sunday, I played Wake minus 7. That was the number that really jumped off the page at me. And that was when the thinking was that Mitch Griffiths would get his second career start. He looked good in his first career start, 21 of 29 last week, 288 passing yards, 3 touchdowns without an interception. But, I think I like it more with Hartman minus 13 than I like it -7 without Hartman. So I'm going to even, because I was only able to get -7 on one of my accounts. So I'm going to even play it more, which normally you would never play a game 6 points worse than a play you already have. But that's how much I like it, man. I think Hartman's one of the best quarterbacks in the country. I think I had him 7th in my QB rankings, if I'm remembering correctly, coming into the year. All he needs is this game and maybe one more to become the program. He'll break the great Riley Skinner's record, who I'm sure you'll remember, K-Raj. Riley Skinner dealt out some 30-zip cream cheese treatment at Doak Campbell one night, but I digress. Anywho, Sam Hartman -13, Wake. Oh, by the way, Vandy 4-15 against the spread. Their last 19 as a home underdog, starting when they got blasted 59-zip by Bama when they were 3-0 late September of 2017. I am so happy for the Commodores getting off to a 2-0 start, but Hawaii's horrible, and they had their struggles to get past Elon. So I still think Vandy 2-0, good for them, but they're not very good, and Wake should win by at least 3 touchdowns.
Yes, I do remember the Riley Skinner game, so thank you for that one. I guess you had to throw some cold water on FSU's win this past week with the Riley Skinner reference, but I'll let you have that one. So to recap our 3 best bets, or Brian's 3 best bets for Saturday, he likes Alabama first half against Texas, also taking the points at Appalachian State at Texas A&M. He's going to lay the points with Wake Forest against Vanderbilt. Brian, before we let you go, tell the audience about your new college football podcast, The Vegas Insider.
Yeah, Bet CFB. Please subscribe, rate. We've got another one that'll be dropping Thursday morning with my guest Kiev O'Neill of the Odds Breakers, and you can still check all of them out. The first 7 have been done, including episode 7 that we recorded this past Sunday with Scott Manziria and I, breaking down all the week 1 action and looking ahead to what we have this week.
That is Brian Edwards. I am Kevin Rogers. Thanks a lot for watching, and as always, best of luck with your bets.